What a get. 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 This is amazing right here.
Pinch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Beyond the Court, the Golden State Open draw preview for the IRT singles. Suds, impromptu. I know you're out running around, picking jewels up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
That's the question. Let us know in the chat. Hi, everybody. Midday draws came out. Sud says we got to get on. We got to go live. We got to preview the draws, and we have to bring in the expert. Hi, Todd.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, can you hear me, Leo, Todd, Simone? All good in the hood?
Yes, yes, yes.
Love it. Yeah, sorry about this. Leo, thanks for that open. We got a Beyond the Court special. We had to bring Todd in. Obviously, there's a lot going on. You guys both know where I am. Leo, you want to tell everybody where I am right now?
You're in the mom line.
I'm in the mom line. I got
But you're the dad, so you're the dad line. It's the dad line.
I don't know, I'm picking up jewels at school. I don't get it. Like, Todd, you're in your office, you're working. Leo, you're in your office working. I'm working all day. I'm 100 cars deep. She gets out at 2:00. Does anybody work? Todd, I asked you that. What's going on? Is there a statistic on this? It's incredible.
You know what happened to the days when there was no driving and picking up at school, where everybody rode the bus?
The old, we walked to school uphill both ways.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, Leo, we got a show here. We had to bring in Todd Boss. There's a lot of chatter out there. We see Norm McNutt, the KRG leader. He's always in the know. Norm. Norm knows a lot of people on all sides, but he never gives up his sources. I like that.
I'm gonna say hi to everybody in KRG. In fact, Simone is in my ear asking all of us to take one moment, get on your device, and share the feed real quick. So let's do that real quick. I don't know. Can you do that? You're already on you have two devices?
I brought two devices for this. Come on. I don't mess around.
So share it, please. I'm sharing it now. Leave a comment. Ask us a question. Are you going to the Golden State Open? That's what the first question I'm going to ask everybody in the chat is. Will you be at the Golden State Open in Pleasanton, California, presented by JMB?
Todd, you going?
No, I can't go. That's a bit of I'm like you, Sudsy. I'm going east to west. That's a tough ask, especially in December.
Understood. Look at this. Todd's getting calls from the Pentagon, Leo, as we speak. I got, maybe you guys can help me out. I don't know if there's any dermatologists that watch us. I got like the biggest pimple right here that I've had probably, I haven't had it since I was like a 13-year-old boy, if you know what I mean. So It's pretty crazy. If you go to the Golden State, you can't miss it. I mean, you can't miss it online. It's but anyway, go ahead.
I'm getting a call from someone who may be watching. He shall remain nameless, but let's just say he has a vested interest in the topic that we're about to discuss.
Well, with that, Leo, I'm going to let you tell everybody what we're going to talk to Todd about, and then Todd, you're going to take the floor.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
good.
for those of you, give you guys a little bit of context, this weekend, the Golden State Open presented by JMB, it'll be at the Bay Club in Pleasanton, a phenomenal facility. I've been there several times. We've hosted national events there. It's a great time. They've had tournaments there before. A beautiful facility, but the caveat is the crown jewel will be there. The made-for-TV, portable stadium, championship show court, whatever you want to call it. It's there, live in person. That will be the big draw of the tournament, along with 260 other players. But the biggest thing that we're going to talk about today, and that's what Todd is here for, is to talk about the year-end race for number one, implications, matchups. So, Todd, what do we got?
All right. So, everyone can see the seeding from this event. And you can see that that Daniel is seated number one, and Jake is number two. However, we all know that Jake actually was ranked number one this time last week. So you may wonder, well, what has happened? So let's just start at the top. Like, how did we end up with the seeding Daniel 1, Jake 2, and talk about the points machinations and talk about the point system. So the IRT point system works on a 365-day rolling calendar. Last week, Jake was ranked number one. He's now ranked number two, even though he played in an event this past weekend in Portland. The reason that he's dropped down is because last year's Portland event ended on December 3rd, 2022. So on December 4th of this year, or last Sunday, those points expired. Now, Jake won that event, which was worth 400 ranking points. Neither Daniel nor Conrado played in that event last year because it was immaterial to the rankings. So therefore, Jake lost a ton of points, and that dropped him down to number two. And so if you look at the IRT rankings points right now, Jake trails Daniel by exactly 256 points. Now, through an interesting quirk in the ranking system, as of this moment, there are only 9 tier 1s in the last 365 days. And when that happens, the point system only allows you to count the last 9 events, irrespective of how many you have played, kind of to level the playing field. And so as a result, Jake doesn't have credit, quote unquote, for the points that he earned, nor does anybody else, not the points that they earned last week in Portland. This is important because this will kind of go towards the playing out this whole scenario. Okay, so right now on the website, Jake trails Daniel by 256 points. But in reality, in a couple days' time, or at the end of this event, when we get our 10th tour event in the last 365 days, he'll regain the 60 ranking points he earned last weekend, and he will only technically be trailing Daniel by 196 points for the entirety of 2023. Okay, so why do I focus on that? Well, if Jake wants to finish number one, he needs to make up 196 ranking points this weekend in Pleasanton. Okay, so how can Jake do that? Well, if Jake wins the tournament, he will earn 400 points. If Daniel loses in the quarters, Daniel will earn 150 points. 400 minus 150 points would be a 250-point swing. That would be enough to get Jake the title. Does that make sense? With me so far?
Yeah, we're with you, but I'm just so glad that I'm not in school anymore, man. Leo, I'd be jumping around like Chewy, looking outside, a noise goes off. I can't wait for the dumbed down version of this. But Todd, this is exceptional. No, this is exceptional info because it's crystal clear. You know, somebody's finally explaining it to everybody. And I'm sure, because I've been in this position, Todd, and you know, and you remember, you know, going into the last event, I could have finished number one, and I needed to know exactly how, why, what, where, and when. And you're doing that right now. So I know not only do Leo and I appreciate, I'm sure the fans do, but the players are definitely going to be watching this.
So these
just
are the current
explain this-
rankings. This is the same number you go off of, right, Todd? We're looking at the IRT
Yeah.
site.
Okay, so to keep playing out the scenarios, if Jake makes the final and loses in the final, he would earn 300 points. And then, so then if Daniel makes the quarters there, 300 minus 150 is not enough points for him to make up. If Jake makes the final and earns 300 and Daniel gets upset in the round of 16, that would be, he would earn 90 points. So 300 minus 90 is 210. That would be enough for Jake to win. And then along that, so then Daniel also plays around at 32. If Daniel loses in the 32s and Jake makes it to the semis, that would be 220 minus 40. That's 180 points. That wouldn't be enough. So basically, to sum this up for you, Jake needs to win or make the final, and he needs a big upset of Daniel in either the 32s or the 16s or the quarters.
3 rounds,
If
right?
Daniel, sorry?
So from my math, Todd, and the way I would calculate it if I was going into this to potentially finish number 1, Jake will need to advance 3 rounds past Daniel any way, shape, or form. Is that correct?
Right. That's right. So if Daniel makes the semifinals, he will earn 220 ranking points for this event. And even if Jake wins and makes 400 minus 220 is only 180 points. That would not be enough for Jake to surpass Daniel. So therefore, if Daniel makes the semis here, he has sewn up the year-end title.
Even if Jake makes the finals and beats Daniel in the finals.
Even if that happens, it wouldn't matter. If Daniel makes it to the semis, he'll have earned enough points so that he will have an unsurpassable lead. Conrado, by the way, is not – so Conrado is out of it, to be totally frank. Conrado trails Daniel by 366 points, and just by Daniel showing up, even if Conrado wins and Daniel loses in the 32s, that would be a swing of 360 points. Not enough.
So it's a 2-man race. You got Daniel De La Rosa, you got Jake Bredenbeck fighting for number 1, and the only way for Jake to finish number 1 is he will have to go 3 rounds further than Daniel. So now Todd and Leo, correct me if I'm wrong, for all of the players out there and fans, here are the scenarios. If Daniel, I'm going to keep it realistic. Daniel's not going to lose in the 16s. That would have to be an injury or an incredibly insane upset. So if Daniel, and I haven't really looked at the draws, guys, so we can look at that after. So if Daniel loses in the quarters, Jake would have to win it. So he would have to go semis, finals, win. If Daniel gets to the semis, it's over. Daniel finishes number 1 no matter what Jake does. That's about it. So here's the $1 million question I have for you guys, because I haven't looked at it. The only guy that I really see creating any bit of chaos for Jake or Daniel is Kane. Where is he? Who does he play?
So Kane is when the points reran last week, Kane jumped up from number 25 to 23, and then because of a couple players missing, he is seeded 19. So he plays Craig Clement in the qualifier to then play against the 14 seed, who is Eric Trujillo, to then project into Conrado in the 16s, which ironically is exactly who he projected into last event. He also projected right into Conrado.
So he can't affect the race.
He would projected Jake in the semis, Daniel in the final. So unfortunately, Kane cannot really wreak any havoc into the year-end title question.
Got it. He's certainly going to wreak havoc because could win this. I mean, would not shock me. I text him. I think he's on the plane. I text Adam and Nia, by the way, Leo. I don't know if Simone told you. Adam is super busy, so he couldn't make it. Looks forward to seeing everybody. Says thank you for all the support, obviously. Also text John Ellis, and I asked him if I could read his text, and he said no. Let's see. He said, and I quote to give some credibility to Todd's shirt there. He said he's working right now, pickleball. I said, okay. But he's been super busy, and he hasn't done this in a while. He loves racquetball, and we'll see if Ellie will stick around. But, to sum it up, all right, Simone, Leo, Todd. Todd, thank you for that. I'm not letting you go yet. I'm just getting ready because at some point, boys, I'm going to have to start circling this huge line. Jules is going to jump in the car in the back. Who knows what happens from there? So, all right, Todd and Leo, is there any chance Daniel doesn't finish number one? And then from a historic perspective, Todd, I want you to talk about that.
I'll go first. He's projecting to play either Sam Bredenbeck or Carrasco in the 16s. He's not going to lose that.
Nope.
And then he would project to play either Natera or Acuna in the quarters. I can't imagine him losing that.
Nope.
And then he would project into Montoya, Mar, Paria. That's one of those players in the semis.
It doesn't matter. Once he gets to the semis, it's over. It doesn't matter. So he would have to lose to Natera, Acuna, Bredenbeck, Carrasco.
That's right.
That's it. And then, oh, by the way, our boy Jake's got to go beat who?
Jake's looking at he's got to play Portillo. He's got to play Martel in the 16s. Not the easiest opponent.
Bottom's heavy.
And
that's
then
easy
either
for him.
Portillo
I love
or
Jaime.
Landa.
Yeah, he's got. The bottom is heavy. He's got Landa. He's got Portillo down there.
This is Landa's swan song. Is he motivated? And then probably, Kane. Assuming Kane beats Moscoso again and then beats Adam again.
Can Rocky ruffle any feathers? So there's really no true path for Jake unless Daniel loses to. That's it. Acuna, Natera, Natera. They're both talented, but I say it. Leo Natera is one of my favorite guys on tour. Just his style, the way he is, and everything. But I don't know. Could you catch Daniel on a lazy day? I doubt it because now Daniel's going to know. He's going to know that. All I got to do is get to the semi. But then it would be exciting because then Jake still has to go 3 rounds ahead.
And that's where Kane could come in and be the spoiler.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
So Daniel's only played Allen twice, beat him both times. He's played Acuna 5 times, including in Boston, where he beat him 15-14, 15-14.
That's the X factor. I was just about to say. Acuna would be the one to push him, especially if Acuna knew. A little extra there, a little extra.
Leo, you're 100% right, man. And Todd, that's a great point because I remember, Todd, that first year I finished number one and Leo, it was by 10 points. Similar situation, last event of the year. Coincidentally, Pleasanton, California. I had to go 2 rounds ahead of Cliff. And that was when Cliff and I were in all the finals. So if Cliff made the finals, long story short, those players knew, our competitors knew exactly what was at stake. So I'm sure, if not, I hope they are. They'll be more competitive. It'll be exciting. It'll make it some fun for the fans. But yeah, if Daniel finishes number one, Todd, how many is that?
So that'd be his 3rd, which puts him kind of in this weird middle ground. There's a handful of players, yourself included, who won 5 or more, and then there's a whole slew of players that just won 1 or 2, like in Rocky's case. But yeah, Daniel with 3 puts him kind of in this interesting middle ground.
Nobody else has 3. Right?
Stands alone.
I think he stands alone with the number 3.
Todd,
I'm sorry,
true.
say it again.
I think he stands alone with those 3, right?
Yeah, he would stand alone. Yeah. You'd have to go back to the very beginning of the tour when someone
impressive. So
Charlie Brumfeld technically won 3 nationals in the mid 70s, but his career's kind of spanned kind of spanned the beginning of the Pro Tour, and so he always claimed 5 national titles because he won what was then called the IRA twice before there was a Pro Tour. And so he
All right,
he had
well-
3 pro titles plus 2 amateur titles.
So what's the biggest storyline in here?
Thank you, Leo. That's
We need
exactly
a storyline. I get, we need those. We need these. We either create them or they create themselves, or either organic. But the crown jewel is already there. Let's figure out, is there anything else to then other than Daniel just making the semis? I mean,
yeah. I mean, there's going to be now a lot of people rooting, I think, for Daniel to lose in a round. Oh, here's one, Todd. When was the last time Daniel lost in the quarters or before?
Geez, you might have to go back to the U.S. Open, the last U.S. Open when he got beat in the 16s. But let me tell you the exact answer.
that's not a good place to lose early.
I mean, he lost in the 16s and the quarters twice in the 2022 season.
A year ago.
That's a grand slam. That's double points, double money. Well, supposed to be.
Yeah, he lost to Rocky in the quarters of Chicago 2022.
Okay.
And then he lost in the 16s to Montoya at the U.S. Open, the last U.S. Open. And I talked to him a few weeks later in Vegas, and he was like, that was the U.S. Open where they didn't have the court. It was still at University of Minnesota, and he just, he said he just wasn't into it. And then, of course, running into Montoya in the 16s is not exactly a fair round of 16 match, considering the guy's, now ranked number 4 solidly on tour.
Who's missing? Is there any notables?
So when I was looking at this, I don't know if I see Murray in here. Is Murray in here?
What about
Mark? Question.
So Murray
That's
dropped
like Todd's
out.
favorite. That's like Todd's favorite player right there.
It's Javier Mar. Yeah.
Are you Canadian?
I do like Javier Mar. And until Murray dropped out last minute, Kane was actually projecting to play Mar in the 32s, which I thought was going to be an absolutely awesome opener for Kane. But Murray drops out, and so Kane moves up 1, and instead of going 20-13 to 4, now he goes 19-14 to 3.
Murray's an engineer, gents. Hey, Leo, quick plug, and then I think we have to have Simone do a quick commercial. She's in there.
Yeah, she's in my ear saying if we could just take a quick commercial break. But she wants us, and big shout out to eBoost. Hey, I already got them in my bag, so thank you. I love those. Bring extra, please.
I'll have them go with the commercial, boys, because I'm about to be rolling. And then
we'll be right back, and get your questions ready in the chat. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to a special Beyond the Court episode of the Golden State Open. We've been previewing the men's IRT draws. Todd is busy at work. Sudsy is in the dad line. I'm not going to call it the mom line anymore.
Oh, I'm in the line, man. It's impressive. I told you guys, there's got to be 300-400 cars here every day. I got my QR code ready to show so I can take Jules in the car. Very official. And we'll see what happens. Ruben, what's up? One Wall Ball. We see you. Look at this, guys. I'm like, I just got, man.
How early do you have to get there?
But you know me. I'm
Get
a
a
little
good
crazy with time
I
and
think
everything.
I'm actually wearing one of Ruben's shirts. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
I just saw One Wall Ball.
Watch
That's
out.
right. I'm stripping on camera.
Only on Beyond the Court.
There
Yeah,
we
this
go.
stuff only happens on
That's
Beyond
the
the Court.
Vegas. That's the Vegas fundraising shirt. It's nice.
There you go.
Looks good. I like it.
All right, Leo, Todd, Simone, I don't know what's going to happen here. Jules is going to be jumping in a minute or two, but I'm going to stay with us. I might have to drive all the way home with you because, this is a fun show.
Well, let's get to some good stuff here, and let's start making some predictions. Who's going to make the finals? I know you said you didn't want to go match by match, but I want to hear from the fans. I want to hear from Todd. Suds. I want to hear you. Who's going to make the finals, and then who's going to win it?
I'll go first. I say
Okay.
if Daniel makes the semis, he'll be upset. He'll be excited and want to have some fun that night, knowing he just finished number one. And then I would predict probably our boy Jake to win it. He's playing great, always works hard. But if I was Daniel, I'd want to go out with an exclamation point and win this event. So I guess we'll see. But that's my prediction. If Daniel gets to the semis, which I predict he will, he'll get upset, but knowing he's finished the season number one.
Wow.
I know. You guys get a good view of this pimple right here? We got any dermatologists?
Give it a name.
Impressive.
Give it a name.
This thing?
Yeah, so we can call it by that instead of the pimple.
Mini Everest.
ME.
ME. All right,
Yeah,
here
we
comes
are with
Jules. Let's get my girl in the car. We'll say hello. Good. You guys keep it up.
Todd, you want to go next so I can hear your crazy prediction? So I can.
I think Daniel.
Thank you.
I think Daniel gets to the semis and then
Seatbelt.
checks out mentally. Montoya beats him, and it's Jake and Montoya in the final because Kane will have expended himself just like and will fall to Jake in the semis.
Put your seatbelt on.
Interesting.
Leo, what do you think?
There are some really good. It's not a clear-cut path. It's not like we're backtracking 4 or 5 years ago and Kane wins and we don't get to talk much. We just get to talk about other stuff. So coming into the semis, I think there's a lot of opportunity for upset. To me, the bottom half of the draw is heavier. And in years past, I don't know if it's just me or that's how it works out, but it always seems like the bottom is always heavier. And when you look at this draw, I see heavy hitters. I see Londa, I see Jake, I see Portillo. It's still Lalo time. Don't forget. All right.
No, it's not. He's a pilot. He's refocused. It's not Lalo time. Nope. It never was Lalo time. You win one event. Did he win an event? I love Lalo. It's not Lalo time. Come on, it's everybody else's time. Lalo did his job. Lalo's a smart kid, man. He's going to be a pilot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lalo won the event. Lalo won the event where Kane got hurt. Yeah. Because Kane got hurt in the semi against Lalo.
And Lalo still wants to win. Okay. Then I haven't even talked about the other two major players in the bottom half of the draw. And I can't believe nobody has said anything in the chat. I guess we all have short-term memory, but everybody forgot about Conrado Moscoso, the best player in the world. The Pan American.
Yeah, but he's going to lose. He's going to lose to Kane, though. It's a terrible matchup for Conrado Kane, and that's actually crazy. That's around the 16s.
Yeah. So, that's a tough. I can't say that Kane's going to beat Conrado. I wish I could sit here and go, oh yeah, Kane all the way to the finals. You guys know me.
Kane, what do you say? What do you say, Todd?
I think I think Sudsy, that you talked to Kane and kind of had a diagnosis of what happened to him in that event. And I, without betraying what he said to you or what he said to me, I can't see anything different happening. I mean, he's got to play 4 matches against top players, and the dude's 42 and coming off a significant injury, and
Who beats him in this draw?
we Father Time is unbeaten. It's you don't play like you're 25 when you're in your early 40s.
Does he make it to the semis and Jake beats him?
I mean, you guys tell me. Do you think Jake, had Kane not, he was clearly stricken in the tiebreaker of that match against Jake in Boston.
Right. Yeah, we
Could
all
Jake
saw
have beaten
that.
him square up? Probably.
Is Kane going to beat Conrado, Todd?
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
So how do you feel?
Conrado, are you watching?
I mean, what do you want to hear?
Con-
Conrado has zero ability to modify his game style. And he has carried that. He basically has one serve. You guys go back and watch his matches. He uses one serve. He uses a drive serve to the guy's backhand. And if he misses that, he uses the same nick lob. He doesn't have a hard Z. He doesn't drive to the forehand. He doesn't do a jam. He doesn't do a wraparound. He does nothing except for what he knows how to do best. And then in the rallies, he tries to attack everything. And so you go watch Kane's match against him.
He didn't see my ceiling ball reel, Leo.
So you go back and watch Kane's match against
Jules.
him, and you will see Kane basically not even paying attention to what Conrado is trying to do on the service return. Kane staying in front of the short line so that he can try to dink whatever shot comes back, because Conrado's not going to try to get him out of the center court. He makes zero adjustments. He has gotten by with this game plan because he is so talented, and that game plan can beat basically everybody. But Kane just sits there and will pick them apart. And if the scores aren't like 6-4 again, I'd be shocked. How's that for a hot take?
I think you're on the money. I think that try again, baby. I think you're on the money. I think that as talented as Conrado is, as we all know he is, he lacks slightly, definitely in the game plan, Todd. I couldn't agree more. I worked with him a little bit, and it was hard to get him to really open up his mind and say, okay, I'm going to take this weapon, which is his biggest weapon, but I'm going to add to the arsenal by switching it up and switching around. So that's one thing. I think the other thing is against Kane, he feels defeated before he steps on the court. And when that's the case, you got no chance. You might as well not even come. If you feel defeated before it's 0-0, and I saw that in the body language, Leo, we spoke about that when we watched Conrado play Kane in the last event. He just looked like a different player. It looked like he wanted no piece of this. I don't want to fight. Man, you play Kane. I don't care what your level is. If you're not ready to roll around in the mud, get dirty, scratch, bleed, claw, do everything you possibly can, knowing still you might get the shit kicked out of you, don't even bother showing up, because he's going to feel that, and it's going to be that much easier for him, that much harder for you. So it's the only way to do it. And I learned that from a guy named Cliff Swain. Thank you, Cliff.
I see in the comments that people don't terribly like my observations. Tough.
I don't know that.
I ask you guys this: how many times did you guys watch him foot fault over and over and over, tournament after tournament after tournament? Why can't you make just the slightest little adjustment? Don't step forward, step off to the side, try to hit a different serve. Did you guys ever see him make that even that simplest adjustment that we've all made as players? No, you never have.
Yeah, I watched him do it a lot at the Longhorn, because we have a right sidewall glass, and you could just literally sit there, and he just always.
It's not even that. It's just adding. He's got to add to his arsenal, man. I mean, his ability and talent is almost second to none. I mean, other than Kane, obviously, and you got to be able to mix it up more. But yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Leo. What were you saying?
If Kane makes the finals, can he win the tournament?
Of course. You
Todd.
know that.
I mean, it's a horrible matchup for Conrado. Like I said, this sounds pretty critical and pretty harsh, but that critical and harshness has basically taken Conrado to be the number 2 or number 3 player in the world. And both Sudsy and I agree he's the most talented player in the world. He is more talented than Daniel. The only reason that we're not talking about Conrado being in the pole position to win the title is because Conrado inexplicably missed a Grand Slam earlier this year, and instead of him gaining Grand Slam points, you know, like he took a donut.
We're home.
You know, Daniel wins that tournament, and so that's a 600-point swing on Conrado. Just to put that in perspective, Conrado trails him by fewer than 600 points right now. So if Conrado had gone to the Grand Slam and finished, even if he had finished in the quarters or the semis, he'd probably be in first place right now, and we would be having a completely different conversation.
If Conrado beats Kane, is that an upset?
Say it again?
Sudsy,
No.
Since both
No.
of you guys said 100%.
No, I don't think it's an upset. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point should he beat Kane?
Well, I mean, we just talked about it. You know, Kane has 20 some odd years of court awareness and strategy that
On that court, too. On that court. Nobody has more court time on that court than him. I think that plays a factor.
Yeah. And you know, and Kane will admit he had a game plan for Kane or for Conrado in 2017. It still works. If Conrado gets hot and starts actually making these shots from 39 feet, you know, then maybe the games are closer. But I mean, I'm telling you, like one of his matches, I tracked it, and I couldn't believe how little variation there was in the serve.
I'll open the door there, baby.
So
It's
that,
tough.
yeah, it is what it is.
It's tough to call. The bottom is so heavy. It's just, you know, Jake, Londa, Lalo, Conrado, Kane. Is there another heavy qualifier in the bottom, Todd, that I'm missing? Because I'm only looking at the main.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, Leo.
Is there any other heavy qualifiers on the bottom? Because I'm only looking at the main.
I mean, from the bottom, you know, there's a bunch of matches in the qualifying that I think are going to be interesting. You know, Bobby Horn is playing in this event, and he's qualifying in on the bottom side. You know, Cole Sendry has a interesting match against a former IRT touring vet named John Wolf, who's a good player from Southern California. That'll be a good test. You know, DJ Mendoza is down there. Bradley Rogers is a solid player.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
DJ
hard.
and Bradley will be
I
good.
don't know if I would predict any of these players to beat a top 16 seed. I think the only upset from that realm,
Wayne Antone's coming out.
Oh, Wayne. So Wayne plays Diego Gastelum. That's going to be an awesome match.
Yes,
you know, Gastelum just won World Juniors 21 and under. He's a heck of a player.
Cardona's down in there.
So Cardona probably has a winnable match against Edwin Galicia, and then Cardona plays into Paria.
Yeah.
Those two guys went at it over and over again back on the WRT, and Cardona is a heck of a player. You know, his problem is that he's got kind of like a fitness issue because he doesn't play that much. So he'll come out hot, and if Paria can withstand that pressure, he'll be able to advance.
I guess we lost Suds. Must have got kicked out of the
I
line.
think we lost Suds.
Well, let's see if he logs in. Check the
Someone was
chat
asking
real
about Paria. You know, Paria is an interesting one. He has, after finishing in the top four for us for the last 4 or 5 years in a row, he's kind of drifting. You know, he's taken early losses. He's seeded 5th here. He plays into Montoya, who is basically the exact same age as Paria. So he's been playing Montoya ever since they were both juniors, and it's just kind of back and forth. And it's tough to make predictions about players that have played that much against each other, right? I mean, another great example is Montoya and Carlos Keller are essentially the long-running 2 main representatives of the Bolivian national team, and they play in Bolivian nationals every year. and Carlos Keller gets wins over him. Even though Carlos Keller, I don't think Carlos ever, he toured for an entire season. I don't think he made a pro quarter. Meanwhile, Moscoso is on the edge of being the best player in the world and has a slew of Tier 1 victories. It's just, sometimes it just comes down to matchups through and through.
Interesting. All right, I think we're going to get Suds back.
Someone else asked me an interesting question. When was the last time that the tour race was this close? And that's a great question. You have to go back. So we've had almost a decade of tour races that were almost, blowouts from the get-go. De La Rosa had last year's title sewn up basically in August, and didn't even bother to go to two of the last events because he knew he had won it. In 2021, De La Rosa won by 1,000 points. So you have to go back to in 2014-15 when the tour actually came back down to the last event. I don't know if you guys remember, that season was the season that Kane kind of got hurt and he missed a bunch of events in the spring. And so when it came down to the end of the season, he actually trailed Rocky going into the last event. And so he basically had to outpoint Rocky by a round. And as it turned out, the final of that event turned out to be Kane versus Rocky. Kane beats him, and he wins the title.
Amir wants to know if Rocky has a shot at doing anything.
I don't. So Rocky plays Nathan Reikus in the qualifiers to then play into. He plays into Javier Mar. I'm sorry, I don't see him beating Mar.
No, he's at Rocky's. He's at a different point in his life and career. He's not. When you say do anything, could he beat anyone on any given day? Sure.
I think Rocky could beat Javier Mar.
Of course he could. No, that was the question. I'm sorry. Can he beat Javier Mar? No,
he plays into him.
I think he can beat anyone. But he's that's not his focus anymore.
Rocky's in a little interesting spot because the winner of Mar Carson then plays Andre Perea, and where Rocky is, in his mid 40s, kind of playing. He can hang. He's certainly in great shape. But then going against Mar and then again against projecting into Perea, those are all matches those are not power players that are going to try to blow Rocky off the court. Those are players that are, relying on, Nick lob serves and, kind of half-hearted Z serves that just get you into a bad spot. And Rocky can hang with them if he's not going to be pressed physically on the court. So, yeah, he could make a run here.
It's the last tournament of the year. So, I'm there's so many factors. The court, paycheck. Let's not forget that. There's still money.
Christmas time. Christmas.
Change.
I always love winning that last tournament in Lakewood, Colorado, right before Christmas. Couple grand. Hey, that's the other thing in the year end. I don't know what Daniel's contract says or Jake's contract says, but year-end bonuses were very nice to me. Thank you, Head Penn. Thank you, Doug Ganem, Kevin Kempen. Yeah. So, I don't think the economics are the same, and then there's just, hey, you're number one in the world. You're best in the world. That is honestly more valuable than the amount of money. I can promise you that. So that's where we're at. What do you think, gents? I mean, it was a nice quick lunch topic. If the fans are good, if Simone is good, Leo, Todd, if there's anything else we want to talk about, or we can just cut it down. Leo, you can kind of tell everybody what you and I plan to be doing. Jesse, thank you. Jesse texted me, Leo, and said, am I available to play Sunday morning? And I said, well, I'm going to be in Cali. So heading out there tomorrow.
His son up. He was in the sun. He was picking his son up at school.
Oh, nice.
How about Jesse? Florida Jesse?
Yeah, Florida Jesse. Todd, anything else you want to leave us with? Anything interesting for the fans? Anything at all?
Nothing. I think we covered it.
Have you written your preview yet, Todd?
And we'll see what happens this weekend.
Todd, have you written your preview yet?
Have I what?
Written your preview?
No, I usually wait till the draw comes out because you just never know. And Murray dropping out last minute would have completely invalidated my preview. I will tell you guys this though. When they go to announce the players on the show court, I wrote the intros for each of the players for Bobby and Adam.
Oh, cool.
Using
Cool.
kind of some stats so when you hear them doing the big announcement of that's yours
that's cool.
truly. So if you
Nice.
don't if there's any criticism of that, you can blame me.
Shout out to Todd.
Well, the funny part is I gave everybody a nickname. So when they get announced, please welcome Jake the Beast Bredenbeck. Well,
Nice.
not everybody has a nickname, so I made up some nicknames.
Oh boy, I'll be listening for sure now.
So hopefully those don't sound too corny.
Well, I wish you could make it, Todd. It'd be fun to have
Absolutely.
you there.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Suds, anything you want to say to Todd before we let him go?
Todd, thank you. We appreciate it. You jumped in. We know you got a real career and about 5 or 6 other jobs you're doing all day, every day. But, again, you're a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, whether it's contributor or whatever it is, all these numbers that you put together for the sport, they're there forever. And that's because nobody else is doing it. Anybody that says it's easy is just clueless. And if that's the case, you go ahead and do it and put those stats in. And I'll give the nod to you, Todd Boss. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Say what's up, and we'll be in touch. Leo and I might bring you on from California.
Yes.
Sounds good. Travel safe.
Thanks, Todd. And we have it, Leo. All right.
That was the draws came out. Phone
Boom.
calls were made.
Somebody's got to do it. Anything exciting for you
Yeah.
about this event? About the year-end number 1. The event's going to be awesome. The glass court, portable court, KWM Gutterman making it happen, JMB Sales, of course. All the best players in the world are there. What from the pro matches, like just besides great matches, do you think we can see a big upset like that, or do you think it's kind of written?
Yes. No, it's not written.
Okay.
For the first time, I'm not riding somebody's train. You didn't see me say Kane all the way.
Sure.
You saw me bring up Conrado. There's going to be some interesting things happening at the Golden State Open. I guarantee. I know these guys. You know these guys. I've spent every U.S. Open with that court, and it's not just about the court. It just does something to you. Everything around you. This is where you can make a name for yourself. This is where you can,
This is true.
Yeah, this is it. Doesn't matter if Daniel has to make the semis to be number 1. It doesn't. These guys, yeah, I can't wait. I know it's the end of the year and guys are banged up, beat up. You're seeing guys with cramps, and so I think it's going to be really good. I think you're going to see some real blood, sweat, and tears.
I hope so, Leo. I really do. For racquetball's sake, for the fans' sake, for the participants, for the players, just to get better and to compete and just go out there with that animalistic point of view and attack and try to make a name for yourself. Try to get noticed. This is a great place to do it. Adam and Nia, his crew, Bobby Horn. Everybody there, they're working their asses off. So let's do everything we can to support them, whether you're there or not there. Leo and I will be there. We'll be doing everything we can. Simone's ready. She'll definitely see us going live at matches. Maybe Leo and I will find some people to mic up even. There's going to be some fun times. I know we had Alvaro and Rocky wear a mic in Colorado. That was a lot of fun. I'm sure they would do it again. Leo, any final closing words before we end this?
No, I can't wait. I'm super excited. Thank you, Mark, Frank Hotel's team. We'll be there in full force. Like I said, we'll be going live with Sudsy and Mark's matches. Sudsy's also playing with Jerry Price. So, yeah, we're going to be going live for all those matches. We're going to do a live show from there. We're going to be checking in. We'll be doing our part to promote the heck out of the Golden State Open. Adam and Bobby and Ellie, they deserve it. Their sponsors deserve it. So, get online, share everything, comment, and reach out to Suds and I and let us know if there's something that you want to see while we're there. anything related to racquetball. We're probably going to sit down and talk to Kane. I'm sure. I love those sit downs with him. But anybody else that you guys want to hear from, let us know. So yeah, I'm excited. Chewy will be staying at my brothers and sister-in-laws. Thank goodness for them. And let me know. I only have a few left. All right. Still the hottest shirt on the internet. Suds, thanks for wearing them. I got
Love
a few
'em.
black ones left. So let me know. I'll bring a couple with me. But we're going to go down there. We're going to have a good time.
Bring it, do it. Yes, Leo, you took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you so much, Leo, for jumping in here and coming on the show. You're always in there, and we're always trying to bring anything racquetball we can. Todd Bosch jumping in, appreciate that.
Thanks,
Everyone
Todd.
at the Golden State Open, thank you so much for making this event happen. Something to look forward to for all of us, all the racquetball players, the pros, and everyone. It's going to be super exciting. Of course, KWM Gutterman, Keith Miner. This is not happening without you. And you'll be there, and you're going to be looking to beat some ass too, man, winning more titles. But to my guy and my boss, Mark Frank Hotels, love you, buddy. Thank you. Can't wait to see you. We're going to be out there having a great time. And to all you fans and players, keep watching, keep enjoying. Like Leo said, reach out to us. If there's anything at all that you might want us to bring you, whether it's from there or from anywhere, if it's racquetball, indoor, outdoor, 1 wall, 3 wall, we don't care. We love racquetball. We are racquetball. You're racquetball. So let's just stay as strong and as positive as we can for as long as we possibly can. Everyone have a great day. I'm going to go get some good food. Then I'm going to prepare to fly out, Leo, to see you tomorrow night and everybody in California. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining.